Greetings and welcome to Warhammer 40,000 Mechanicus. I was originally intending to play this game before I had the accident at the embargo date, so before the game was released, but sadly certain incidents changed those plans. But at last I get to play the game. I've played the game a little bit, but I didn't want to spoil the experience, so I've just practiced a bit and gotten a kind of a feel for what the game is like to play, and then I've just saved the experience so that I can play together with you guys. First of all, I would like to say a huge thank you to Kalypso and Kasedo Games for providing me with a key for the game, of course, most gracefully. And I guess it's fitting that this is the first series that I make since I'm now Titandorn, after this little incident that you all know that I've been through, and also the fact that I now am a member of the Adeptus Mechanicus myself. So all the formalities aside and the introduction and blah blah blah, let's just jump into it. And the 41st millennium, a time of darkness and war, the Imperium of man claims the whole galaxy in the name of the God Emperor. It fights an endless war against Xenos from without, heretics from within, and supernatural horrors from beyond. Alongside the Imperium's war fleets serve the Adeptus Mechanicus. They are the tech priests of Mars, guardians and reclaimers of humanity's technology, ever searching for remnants of knowledge from man's glorious past, exploring the depths of the galaxy for worlds long lost to mankind. In the name of their machine god, they manufacture the imperial war machines with gigantic foundries known as Forge Worlds. Gradually, the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus shed their human weaknesses, replacing their limbs and organs with machinery that is both stronger and spiritually pure. Their leaders, the inscrutable Magi, protect the Forge Worlds and explore the furthest corners of the galaxy with their cohorts of Skitari troops. It is a time of warfare, tragedy, and portents of doom. Across this benighted galaxy, the Adeptus Mechanicus are one of mankind's last defenses against a new dark age. Or perhaps they will be the ones to hasten its dawn. An echo in the noosphere, Magos. An old transmission lost in the warp and recovered only now. Is it worthy of our attention? The Great Divide torments the galaxy. The resources of the Adeptus Mechanicus are stretched thin. We are weaker than ever, though the Imperium at large knows it not. This represents an unknown, but possible key to victory. An opportunity to research, perhaps avert the ill fate that has befallen us. The transmission's origin is Silva Tenebris, part of the Emissus Solaris within Ultima Segmentum. Search the rolls, Redditus. Gather them. 4 months later. Whoever finds this transmission and follows me here, give thanks that you will see what I have seen. But be wary, my fellow seekers of knowledge. Whatever lies beneath this world, I fear, I hope, I have woken it. I came to this world to investigate its ruins, but I found so much more. Terrors, yes. Threats to body and soul. But by the Omnissiah, I found such wonders. This is the last transmission of Magos Rizak. He vanished while on an exploratory mission to investigate Xeno structures on Silva Tenebris. Hypothesis: he found something. Our mission on this world is to ascertain any Xenos presence and, if we find it, eliminate it as a threat to the Imperium. The opening of the Great Divide means we can call on no additional support from the Forge worlds. We must achieve this with the troops and resources we bring with us. Benefit analysis. Peace for sector. Knowledge for mankind. Potential. Opportunity. An opportunity to destroy the works of the Xenos, Scavola, not appropriate them. Themysciran manuscripts verse 619. What the enemy built, let it be made asunder, for to us it will be as a house of sand and knives. Magi, we are approaching the target coordinates. There she is. Temperate climate, atmosphere standard breathable. My Skitarii troops should be able to operate down there without trouble. Are they ready to make landfall? As soon as we're in a stable orbit, Magos. Administratum records indicate a single colony, St. Eckart's Hope, on the surface near the Xenos ruins. No contact recorded in 2 centuries. Colony presumed failed. The Skitarii will deploy to the surface near the ruins, along with a team of tech priests under my direct command. I shall monitor them from the command throne on board. Server Skulreditus will serve as my eyes on the surface, and we make landfall at once. Yes, Magos. I'll set up a forward command post. Resac's transmission looked like it came from underground. We'll secure any entrances to an underground structure so your tech priests can begin the exploration. Agrolek sector located. This tomb reeks of stale, dusty antiquity. Its once stern architecture is littered with debris and tarnished with the patina of age. Here and there fissures in the structure cast feeble light over cracked and tarnished metal. The tomb was one brutalist and oppressive, as if designed to crush the spirits of its inhabitants. It is no less intimidating now, but instead of evoking a merciless guiding intelligence, it speaks only of decline and of death. This place seems abandoned at first glance, but as the exploratory troops move through its hushed corridors, the ancient dust stirs and something long dead begins to take on a facsimile of life. Going by our fragmentary information, it looks like a buried tomb structure. Then the sword of the Omnissiah is ready to fall. We deploy immediately. Let secrets of this world equals 0. I counsel caution, Magos Faustinius. Our purpose shouldn't be here to destroy the threat of the alien, not to bask in its blasphemy. Aphorisms of the Logic Saints 7.91. In the presence of the Xenos lies the invisible miasma of corruption. Destruction is not possible from orbit, Videx. The structure is too deeply buried, and Scavola, I have no intention of plundering whatever trinkets I can find from this place. The explorator unit of tech priests is inside the tomb and ready to proceed, Magos. There is no telling what we will find. My men will hold the perimeter in case of the unexpected. It would be folly to commit our whole manpower to the unknown, especially when the potential of a morale threat exists that the Skitarii are less able to withstand. I have the greatest respect for my Skitarii, but they are still far from the ascension that a tech priest affords. I agree, Subdomina. I shall lead the mission in person from the command throne. Servo Skulreditus shall be my eyes and ears on the ground. Omnissiah be praised. We're going in. So, the Adeptus Mechanicus are a curious breed. They explore and interact with machines they do not fully understand. Within this tutorial, you'll have to explore the interface to discover what to do. Like a true tech priest, you must experiment in order to learn. So, blah blah help you out, and yeah. So this is the interface of what we're seeing from the command bridge, and this tomb has only one path, so we'll just have to follow them. This is the units that we have deployed on the planet, and here's the servo skull serving as our eyes and ears. Let's just move on. These Xenos hieroglyphs, I know of them. They are my undoers. Necrons, mysterious, ill-researched, corruptive. This could be a rare sample of the Necron language, Magos. We have barely any knowledge of it. Collecting data from this obelisk could move our understanding of the language ahead for the first time in centuries. This is a work of the alien Magos. Codex Fulminatus 8312. Show caution and scorn in all things. Sometimes tech priests will feed back important information about what they encounter in a room. These situations will require you, our commander, to make decisions. There will be consequences, so choose wisely. So ahead is an obelisk-like object covered in what can only be described as hieroglyphic symbols. It almost reaches the tall ceiling of this chamber. So we can secure it, we can scrutinize it, and we can scourge, destroy it. Of course, this is heresy, so we shall destroy it. We are detecting a massive energy spike from inside the tomb. Something's happening in there. Something huge. Noctilith Source detected, also known as Blackstone. Request collection immediate. And we get 150 Blackstone. So, moving right along. Nothing here, so this room seems to have some enemies. I like how they're running along. Necrons. Resuck did encounter them after all. No wonder he didn't make it off this planet. Every datum we have says that they are as deadly as they are inhuman. The cohort encounters resistance in the form of Xenos constructs, not flesh and blood creatures, but artificial bodies that move with precision and coordination. So we can take an aggressive stance, or we can take a cautious stance, or we can do consistency and just follow the established combat engagement protocols, which is exactly what we will do. Combat will be joined according to the long-established tenets of the Adeptus Mechanicus for good or ill. Fight. Scary looking creature there. Xenos form detected. Confirmed. Redditus cogitators now function for synthetic forms. Overwhelming excitement. Finally, we can study this standard construct Necron warrior. Weak spots detected, none. Equals concerning. I wonder about the symbols emblazoned on their torsos. It must... Do not underestimate. Gauze weaponry, highly volatile. This is true. I've heard our brothers and sisters of the Mechanicus have lost their lives trying to solve the mysteries of these Xenos weapons. Approach with caution. It is also, double-checking cogitators, widely known that they will self-repair, reanimate, or reconstruct themselves if left the time to do so. Wounds that would instantly kill a Skitarii are the equivalent to a Class C graze to Necrons. So our objective is quite simple. Kill enemies. This is the battle arena view. Using the power of the Noosphere, the Tech Priest's data network, you'll control your cohort of deadly Adeptus Mechanicus units while you sit safely in orbit of the Caestus Mechanican. Interesting name there. At the start of every fight, you must decide the location of your units on the field of battle. You can only place units on the highlighted squares, so click a square to place a unit. So there's one over there and one over here. we'll place one unit there, and the other guy, let's place him here. To move a unit, use the left mouse button and blah blah. Now, as you can see, there are these obelisks. When I'm mousing over them, the tooltip says, or an adjacent square, I get +1 cognition. And we have a cognition pool down here. And certain abilities require you to spend cognition points. So what we're going to do, this guy does not have a power axe, which is not ideal. We're going to move over to this obelisk here. Now I can right click to cancel the movement, but I want to move here, so we'll go over there. You've just moved your tech priest to a source of cognition point. CPs represent the valuable information the tech priests are harvesting. There are several ways to collect CP. The fastest way is moving your tech priests close to the source of CP. There are many other ways to collect CP, so look around to find out what they are, and we'll go into that quite shortly actually, as soon as we get to level up our tech priests. Cognition points are stored at the bottom of the screen in the CP gauge, and they are a shared team resource, so plan ahead. Okay, so he's standing there. We have a macro stubber, which doesn't really do that much damage, but let's shoot this guy. Boom. Destruction is the destiny of the Xenos. You've not revealed the statistics for this target. As a result, the amount of damage dealt is unknown. Servo skulls, specialized weapons and other skills reveal the life of an enemy. Killing Necrons isn't simple. Necrons are made of a self-repairing metal that is able to knit together dismembered limbs and gaping wounds. We call this the reanimation protocol. When a Necron is in their reanimation protocol, they are unable to fight but will return to fighting conditions soon. Dealing any amount of damage to a Necron in this protocol state will destroy them indefinitely. And we actually managed to get him into his deactivated state. As you can see, he is kind of hunched down, which means that he will not retaliate on this attack, which is good. So what we'll do next is that we'll use the Servo Skull, and this is your Servo Skull, the skull of a faithful servant of the Omnissiah, augmented to be a useful companion. Every tech priest has their own Servo Skull. Servo Skulls are very helpful in combat and cognition point collection. Select an enemy to find out its battle statistics. Now, we can use it to go over to reveal stats, but we can also use it to go to one of these obelisks to get cognition points, but we'll go and reveal the stats of this guy instead. Note that this does not require any kind of line of sight. The skull will happily move around. You've revealed the stats of this enemy. Knowing your enemy's stats will greatly increase your chances of success. Servo Skulls reveal HP, physical armor and energy armor statistics, and you then decide what weapon types physical or energy work best against this target. And now I can move this guy further at the cost of cognition points. As you can see, the outline is now orange instead, and there is a -1 cognition point above my tech priest's head. However, I'm just going to end turn and leave him there. Then I'm going to move this guy over here to collect cognition points. He's collecting that there anyways, but we want to move him, gathered enough cognition points to be able to use a CP powered weapon. Some weapons, like the Phosphor Serpenta, require CP to use. Look to the right hand side of each action to learn the CP cost of that action. And you can actually see there is 2 CP cogs here. So if I want to use this Phosphor Serpentia weapon, I can use this and shoot this guy now, and that means that we've won the scenario, so let's just do that. Nice and easy. And yeah, even though you don't kill them, as long as you just disable all the enemies, you win the scenario. All Xenos life forms purged. Your cohort's HP amount carries over from each fight within a mission. Keep this in mind when exploring a tomb and look out for opportunities to repair. So moving right ahead. nothing here. Go to the next room. Hypothesis formulation. Sarcophagi. Something. Coffins / burial places. Structural purpose designation. Tomb. G. In the chambers ahead are several groups of structures like upright coffins of an unknown material. So we can ignite, which means that we destroy anything that looks suspicious. We can observe, or we can just ignore this. Of course, this is heresy, so we shall ignite as per usual. The tech priests open fire on the sarcophagi. The structures prove all but impermeable to normal small arms fire, but components of the strange Necron materials are stripped away and can be salvaged by the cohort for examination and repurposing, which gave us 2 CP, for which we will have in the beginning of the next battle, and also 150 more Blackstone. Perfect. We'll get back to the Blackstone later. I'm sure the tutorial guy is going to explain it, so I don't see the point of me explaining it now. So the last room, before the end room. After exploring the chamber for several minutes, a tile underfoot clicks. The sound of whirring energy builds up around your troops. A quick omnispec scan reveals that you're surrounded on all sides by Xenos life forms. Fight. Again, kill all enemies. Okay, so there's only one source of ignition points, which is over there. Which is not ideal, to be honest. Let's put this guy here, and the other one with a powerful gun. Let's put him there, and start battle. Okay, so we have 4 cognition points. I didn't expect us to have that much, actually. Is this close enough for me to shoot? No, it's 1 tile too far away. You've selected a weapon that is not in range. So we'll have to use a cognition point to be able to shoot. Let's move there. We're about to move using cognition movement. This happens when you move within the orange movement outline. Confirming the movement will use CP. So there we go. And boom. We did not disable this guy, so let's spend another CP moving away from the line of sight. Then we can use the Servo Skull to collect a CP. And end his turn. Okay, so this guy costs 2 CP to shoot, but of course that's worth it. And he's disabled. Excellent. Now this guy is probably going to try to shoot, so let's move down here so we can collect CP on the next turn, and we'll also use the Servo Skull to collect 1 more CP. And end turn. So 2 turns until he reanimates. And hello there. Some Canoptech Scarabs. What are those? Opportunity equals knowledge. Gather. Must obtain. Required! Scarabs detected. Source data surfacing. No life forms detected. Area safe. Continue forward. Reditus, verify your cogitators, then tell me what has surfaced from Magus Resux cogitators. Scarabs of an unknown Xenos race. Biology, synthetic, possible artificial intelligence. Once specimens gathered, AI theory equals false. Personal recording. Weeks of studies show there are many variants of Scarab, each with their own roles within the Xenos economy and architecture. Able to build and deconstruct anything they encounter, they are able to repair other units within their species with lightning speed. Be warned, they are deadly in large swarms. It appears the machine spirit is with us. We've been able to access some more of Resux data that we thought was corrupt. It must be due to us recording these Xenos forms that the machine spirit has blessed us with access to these cogitator records. It's unsure why he would lock this under a synthetic proximity encryption. At the start of every new round there is the cognition acquisition phase. This phase is when cognition points are replenished at Necron cognition reserves. Oof. You'll be able to call in other members of the cohort as the battle goes on. This will happen at the start of every round, but you'll need cognition points to deploy troops. So we have servitors, which we can now call in. I will call in one here and one here. In Mechanicus, there are two types of units to control. Tech priests, the two units that we've already got on the battlefield, and there's also troops, such as the ones that we just deployed onto the battlefield. Troops are your servants and cannon fodder. They don't have access to as many weapons and skills as the tech priest, but they are however useful and should not be overlooked. So we'll move this guy here and slap this guy a bit. Sadly, that wasn't enough to kill him. This guy shall shoot on the scarabs. Note that the servo skull has a cooldown of 2 rounds, so we'll just leave him standing there, I think. This guy, let's go down here and pick up the cognition points. And there's also a difference. The skull can only pick up 1, while the tech priest can pick up 3. So let's shoot this guy. Boom. Now we'll use a cognition point to walk over here. And when you enter melee combat in an adjacent square to an enemy, you're unable to use your ranged weapons as they're too dangerous to use at close range, which is something that I experienced in my little testing thing when I shot something that stood beside one of my tech priests, resulting in the tech priest's rather unfortunate demise. Okay, let's use the Omniscient Axe and get rid of these. You've used all possible actions for this unit and there is nothing more you can do this round. Why didn't you tell me that earlier? Okay. When an enemy moves out of melee range, providing your unit has a melee weapon, the enemy will trigger an opportunity attack. An opportunity attack gives your unit a free melee attack on an enemy, and each unit can only perform 1 opportunity attack per round. I think those guys moved into melee. Oh, right, that's why. How? And now the guy's poisoned with acid. When servitors are hit in combat, tech priests take an interest, quickly noting down damage angles, projectile speeds and other useful combat information to be used later against their enemies, which means we get CP. This is represented by gaining a cognition point, and servitors are a very useful unit in all your missions. Also, we don't really care if they die. Poor guys. Boom. Just stand there. This guy activates in 1 round, so we really need to kill these scarabs now. Which of course won't be a problem. I don't want to call in any more servitors. Let's just disable this guy because I can't move him down there anyways. Get a cognition point, which is always a good thing. The Necron you just attacked has been teleported away to somewhere far beyond our reach. In practical terms, this means you've killed the target. This should be a good spot. Let's shoot it, and I think that should be it. Boom. There we go. All Xenos life forms purged. So these icons represent always the room that is the goal of the mission itself. As you can see, this servitor is now left with only 2 hit points, so he's wounded. This symbol represents a location of significant importance to your mission. I don't know why I explain things beforehand, because this guy keeps explaining things after I've explained them already. Entering these rooms brings you closer to the end of a mission. Negative signs of hostile forces, seeking permission to proceed with data collection protocols. Confirmed, permission authorized. Acknowledged, Magos. Protocol begins. What is primary focus, sire? Knowledge of Necron forces, numbers, defenses, locations, any form of data on how many remain on this rock. Secondary, source the purpose of this tomb. Why was it built? Interface devices all but eroded. There is one device that may hold answers, but Necron data looms are incomprehensible to Imperium archaeotech. This might take a while. Idea. Magos, if I may take host of this priest, I could be of assistance. Approved. Noospheric interfacing complete. Hard to decipher purpose. List of suggestions, Magos. Deconstruct device. Activate switch mechanisms. Learn Necron language and return later. What will it be, sire? Always so meticulous with your lists, Tech Acquisitor. Engage on Xenos mechanisms. Although I detest to do so, the promises of the rewards are too great to ignore. Having to lower ourselves to the Xenos learnings may be the only way to reach the archaeotech we seek. Protocol updated. Confusion. Noospheric interference? Disconnect at once. Purged. Reset. Noospheric disconnect complete. Possible scrap code. Will fragment now. Fragmenting. Sire, we have an unfavorable issue. We have an unfavorable issue to deal with. Requesting Dominus input. Fragmenting. Explain. As Tech Acquisitor Scaevola left suddenly, my cogitators glitched. Augmentations entered sporadic reaction protocols and have fried vital sign regitories. Unclear of full damage report. Some of these words are quite creative. Regitories. What on earth is a regitory? Necron device is now activated, sire. Fragmenting. This poor guy. I think it would be better if it was defragmenting. Fragmenting. Fragmenting. Remove yourself from the noosphere, Scaevola. Redditus, report. The tomb is waking, sire. Reports from Skitari cohorts across the planet note that tremors vex their locals. We've lost contact with the Skitari that were covering the entrance to this tomb. We can hear noises of approaching forces. Improve protection protocols, load weapons, and ready for what is to come. We must face the Xenos.
I wake with the turning of Aeon. Stars yet burn, life yet blossoms. Is it truly time?
Greetings. Thrones of Mars, what was that? An omnilinguistic transmission, Magos. It seems these mute constructs are not the only inhabitants of this structure.
What is this? Flesh and steel combined. A mockery of both. Their every footstep a blasphemy. What manner of galaxy is this into which I have awoken?
Right. This guy sounds friendly. Yeah, go away. Principal Xenos Warform sighted. Exotic energy signatures past sensor range. Designate Xenos Abominatus. High value target confirmed. The hunt is on. What are your orders, Magos? So, the cohort reaches a large chamber beneath the first layers of the Xeno's ruins. Bridges stretch from balancing platforms, barely holding themselves together, while rubble falls from the high walkways of like breadcrumbs, escaping into the abyss below. So we can try to capture this guy. Or we can stand our ground and try to kill him, or we can fall back. I'm going to go with the fall back opinion. Or option, sorry. I concur, Magos, but I fear this foe will not give us leave to depart.
Insects. This galaxy is infested with vermin.
If you say so. So this is the tech priests must escape. There's a different objective. This is the final battle of the tutorial. Apply what you've learned so far and strive to obtain victory. The 41st millennium is a brutal place. You may lose this battle, but not the war. In Mechanicus, there are many alternate paths to discover. Which is to say that even if you should lose your tech priests, you actually don't die. As in, the game doesn't end. Right, so I'm just... yeah, I'm going to deploy all of them here, because I want this guy to come down this way while I try to sneak this way. So using the servitors for what they're meant. Cannon fodder. Okay, so there is a guy there, and there is one guy here. And then there's this boss guy standing, or flying I suppose, here. You can just stand still. You've just delayed this unit's turn. Delaying a unit's turn will move the unit to the end of the initiative queue. You cannot delay a unit's turn more than once. Go get the cognition point, please. Thank you. Then use the skull to get a cognition point from that one. Thank you. And then move to the staircase. And end turn. And delay the turn. And same with him, move him to the staircase. And let's grab a cognition point. As you can see, line of sight is simply no matter for these skulls. And end turn. Delay turn and move you up here. Hello, I'm today's bait. Who are you?
I sailed the void for 1,000 years. I fought the war in heaven. What can you do to strike fear in one such as I?
I wasn't planning on trying to scare you. Ow. Servitor of 00000001 has died. Do not worry, troops are cannon fodder designed to protect your tech priests from enemy attacks, and without tech priests your mission will fail. End turn. Move this guy down here. And this guy too. I want him to be the more tasty target. Let's move him here. Move this guy up here and then further up here. And shoot this guy. Perfect. Let's move you back there. Let's get the cognition point here. Which means we can move over here. And hopefully, excellent, we can reach this spot and chop this guy with the axe. Boom. Disabled. Perfect. And we can go grab the cognition point here, I suppose. And then turn. Let's just leave you there. Oh, I have to move you.
How dare this wretched thing stand before the fallen admiral of Caesargon?
Perfect. Ow. Poor guy. Okay, let's just shoot this guy and get him out of sight. Like that. And we can move up here. And let's use the skull to get the cognition point down here. Perfect. Let's continue up here. And then get the cognition point from that one. And we can just move straight into the escape area with him. Perfect. And enter. And let's move him here in case I don't reach the escape point with the other Magos Dominus. We need a cognition point. And nope, we'll have to wait one more turn. So up there with you and enter.
When my fleet sails once more, vermin like you shall be strung from my prow.
Prow? Well now, that sounds a bit anticlimactic. Ouch again. Okay, so you're already standing inside the escape area, and there we go. The cohort successfully escaped the Xeno's life forms. Report, Kepra. Well, we got the squad out alive, Magos. That has to count as a victory under the circumstances. We encountered a Necron warform of capability well beyond our expectations. Yes, I do not need to hold my emotional engrams. However, one battle won is not a success. We will eventually face losses on this mission. When this happens, we must press on beyond our failures to reach success. And there is something else. The reanimation. The Necrons are waking up. It started when Rizak stumbled on the tomb, but our arrival is accelerating the process. That obelisk may have been a form of intruder alarm, and now the sarcophagi in the tomb are starting to open. Then we no longer enjoy the luxury of time. Whatever we do on Silva Tenebris, it must be done before the Necrons awaken completely. We do not even know yet how far the tomb complex extends. We are under the gun then. Omnissiah preserve us if our duty is ever easy. I return sorrow and despair from my emotional course, but I see they lack the logic to determine decision-making. Instead, I choose to quarantine them and adjust our approach. The word of the Omnissiah teaches us that when one method fails, another must be sought until all are exhausted. Then what are your orders, Magos? The Skitarii will explore the tomb chamber by chamber and maintain a foothold. My tech priests will be deployed to achieve crucial objectives and respond to crises. Time may be a factor, but our mission can only be achieved with the thoroughness of a full deployment. I shall mobilize the Skitarii immediately, Magos. Opportunity detected. Leader forms of Necrons rarely, never observed. Potential of intelligence on Necrons added to sum total of human knowledge. Imperative, focus on acquiring artifacts, intelligence, data from... Hold your blasphemous tongue, Scaevola. You counsel the abandonment of our very souls. Life of Archmagus Borasis, Appendix 9. Our only objective should be death to the alien and all his works. All else is defiance from the Omnissiah Creed. If intelligence K equals true, then go to victory. Aphorism retrieval. To face an enemy unknown is to fight in the dark. Better in ignorance than in heresy. I return frustration at your conflict and choose to experience it. There will be bloodshed enough on Silva Tenebris without the Magi coming to blows. In our purpose we are reunited. This is the will of the Omnissiah. And it shall be done. Yes, it shall be done. Magos, the readings from the tomb are troubling. The Skitarii have been monitoring the structure we uncovered, and what they have found gives me grave concern. Explain, xenobiologist. The Necron construct forms are waking up. It seems Magos Resuck accidentally began the process and our intrusion into the structure hastened it. These Necron reanimation protocols are continuing in the tomb we entered, and from the energy spikes across the region there are other structures yet to be uncovered. My plan for the exploration of Silva Tenebris will locate these structures and contain the constructs within. That may not be enough, Magos. I have detected a repeating pattern in the reanimation protocols and the rate the Necrons are awakening. They are speeding up. Can you be certain? The Necrons are machines. Machines act according to patterns and programs. If the reanimation protocols continue to accelerate, they will fully awaken every Necron on this planet in 264 hours. Given the extent of the buried structures, that will constitute a Necron army beyond this mission's ability to contain. I see. Then our time here is limited. Strategic calculations indicate time spent deployed on missions will affect the overall number of missions that we'll be able to deploy. I will send Skitarii scouting parties to discover other tombs and create forward positions for your high-priority mission, sire. If the threat on Silva Tenebris is not assessed and eliminated before full reanimation is reached, we will be forced to abandon the planet. Look at the top left corner of the screen. This is the Necron awakening meter. This shows how many Necron tombs have awoken on Silva Tenebris. Try and gather as much information and tech before reaching 100%. I fear they are right. I feel fear too. That is part of my humanity I have chosen to retain. But I can quarantine it in my neurovaults and choose instead to focus on what must be done. We must choose our missions wisely. It will not be easy. The Omnissiah did not send us here to do anything easy. The threat to humanity present on this world will be eliminated or we shall not leave. Thus the equation is balanced. It is the will of the machine god. Ecropis sector located. This tomb is bathed in a sickly green light that serves not to illuminate but only to make the shadows deeper. Every surface seems connected via filaments of alien light. The design here speaks of Xeno's tech heresy, forbidden knowledge, and a structure as alive and aware as anything inhabiting it. Early exploration readings indicate the walls are made of substances not known to the rituals of metallurgy. Abstract designs carved into this substance suggest unknown regions of space mapped according to some alien understanding. The weight of such blasphemy slows the steps of the first troops to enter here. The heresies of knowledge are deadly enough, but it seems unlikely that they are the only dangers here. Welcome to the Caestus Mechanican, an Ark Mechanicus class battleship. This class of ship is one of the largest in the Imperium and is only afforded to the Adeptus Mechanicus. From here, you'll be able to customize your tech priests and prepare for the missions ahead. You can select missions from the character portraits on the left of the screen. Before we go on the mission, we should inspect and equip our tech priests. Head over to the cohort tab. So we have tech. This is a list of technologies collected so far. You can find tech such as weapons or items on missions or as a reward for completing missions. This is a collection of weapon blueprints you have found so far. These blueprints are known as standard template constructs fragments or simply STC fragments. So we have two weapons, the power axe and the phosphor blast pistol, and there's a lot of weapons to be found. Here, STC fragments for items can be implemented into your backpack slots. These give support-based skills such as healing and damage-absorbing shields and more. There are 3 versions of each item. Each version increases in power. Here are our troops and what level they've achieved so far. So we have servitors. This list shows all our ship upgrades that you've acquired so far. Ship upgrades affect your repair efficiency between missions, the number of tech priests you can access, and so much more. And these finally are your canticles, also known as Canticles of the Omnissiah. These are prayers that can be used in-game. Canticles are unlocked by completing the quests that are listed on each locked canticle. Once the quest for a canticle is complete, you're able to then take the canticle on missions and use its incredible abilities. One of the first one we're going to get is the Cant of the Craft. Hopefully we can get that to level 3 by just doing 3 missions, since it increases the next physical attack. And level 1 is +3, level 2 is +6, and level 3 is +9, which is quite powerful. At least in the beginning of the game, that is. So you can see there are various canticles here. Next energy attack will deal more damage. Next attack period will deal more damage if you kill bosses. Ignore armor for 2 attacks, or 4 attacks, or 6 attacks, and so forth. We'll look more at these later on. So you have missions. We have 2 missions available at the moment. This one is for collecting Necron samples, and it gives these 2 rewards. This one is for deploying a sensor servitor and cleansing the tomb, which gives us these things. And finally we have the cohort tab. Welcome to the cohort quarters. Here you can see all the available tech priests and troop units currently unlocked. Troop units are shown at the top of the screen. Here you can see what skills each troop has available and all statistics for each unit. Tech priests are shown in the bottom 6 slots. Left mouse button, a tech priest to begin customization. So we have Magos Manarius and Magos Jeremiah, and I assume that we'll get more of them here. I think we can get 6 at most. We can customize the factions. I'm not going to do that right now, or will I? Orange is always a good color, although it doesn't look very orange. In fact, it looks rather bad. Let's just go with the Mars. So, welcome to the Tech Priest customization screen. There are many ways to customize a Tech Priest. You can change their weapons, body augments, backpack upgrades, and more. You can upgrade your Tech Priests and head to the Disciplines button near the Tech Priest's portrait now. And that's this button. This is the Discipline screen. From here you can upgrade your Tech Priests using Blackstone. So that's what the Blackstone is for, upgrading. It's like experience points you put into the Tech Priests. Each discipline is focused on a different playstyle. Select one of the skills from one of the 6 discipline skill trees now. And I admit that I've taken a look at some guides, and there are some fairly specific skills that you should take for all Tech Priests regardless of what role you want them to have. So I'm, boringly enough, going to go with the same path for everyone in the beginning. But first of all, I want to rename this guy here. Let's just see. Of course, this is going to be Magos Peps, the humble servant to the master of Yek. We are going to upgrade first the Lex Mechanic. Every turn, this unit will generate 1 cognition point at the beginning. In order to upgrade, you must have enough Blackstone. When you rank up, you'll gain augment slots, skills, and body parts. So we'll pay 121 Blackstone for this skill. Having a diverse team is advised, however the choice is all yours. Tech priests can be multidisciplined, meaning that they can learn skills from more than one discipline. Drag a weapon upon a slot using left mouse button, which will take up one of your tech priest's augment capacity slots. To gain more AC slots, upgrade your tech priest. So at the moment we have 2 augment capacities, and every time you get a new discipline, these, I'm not sure if it's every time, but at least at the beginning, every time you get more augment capacity. So we'll give Peps a power axe, since this gun is rather pitiful with 1 to 2 energy damage. However, we can just add that as well, since we have 2 augment capacity points for him. We have to go back here, and Magos Jeremiah also will have 1 point of Lex Mechanic. We'll give him the same outfit, since that's what we have to give at the moment. So we have 58 Blackstone left, and the next upgrade is 134, so that's about it. However, I think that this episode has lasted for quite a while, but I wanted to give you the full experience of one full mission, and also I feel that it's nice to read out the text loud, so hope that's okay with you guys, and I hope that the episode wasn't too long. So thank you all for joining me, and see you all in the next episode, where we will go on one of these other missions. Bye for now.